Well, I told you this was going to happen. I completely predicted that this was going to happen. And of course, whenever you say something that's a bit bold, a bit of a statement, people kind of push back on it. Oh, you're just being a hater. Oh, you're just being negative. You don't know anything. Or do I? Or do I know something? Because I tried to tell people that Metroid Prime 4 was not going to score as well as Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. Those are some of the highest rated games of all time. And I came out and said, look, Metroid Prime 4 looks like a really great Metroid Prime experience, but it's not scoring, you know, a 92 or a 93 or a 94 or 95 on Metacritic. It's going to be lower than that. And lo and behold, the reviews have come out for Metroid Prime 4, and we have some things to talk about with this, because now you've got people going on both sides of the spectrum. Oh, these reviews are wrong, or oh, the game is terrible. And it's like, I already told you why this was going to happen. But let's take a look at the reviews together. So sitting at an 81 on Metacritic. This is for the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game. I don't care about the Switch 1 version of the game. It means absolutely nothing to me. 64 critic reviews. You can see here that 81% are positive, 19% are mixed, 0% negative. So that's a good thing. And as usual, we're going to look at some of the higher scores, see what they had to say, and look at some of the lower scores and see what they had to say. Giant Bomb coming in with a perfect score. Jesus Christ, what is up with people giving these perfect scores out so willy-nilly? Kirby Air Riders in no way, shape, or form is a perfect score game, yet that got a perfect score. Now we're dealing with this with Metroid Prime 4. Like, Jesus Christ. These people just, nobody, okay, whatever. Despite a few tweaks and new features, motion controls, it's not really new. I was in Metroid Prime 3. Psychic powers, a non-linear hub world. Oh, that's nice. I like that. And the occasional side characters. This is Metroid Prime through and through. It is without a doubt the closest the series has ever felt to the original Metroid Prime in terms of tone, gameplay, and quality. I mean, okay. Time will tell while I place Metroid Prime 4 in the ranking of the overall series, but fresh off my first playthrough, I feel comfortable putting it among the likes of Super Metroid and the original Metroid Prime. It's the best Switch 2 title yet, and I have to imagine that fans of the series will find themselves captivated by Metroid Prime 4. So this is obviously someone who is a Metroid Prime fan. I find that kind of weird to say, like, you know, it's up there with the original and Super Metroid, because that is quite high praise, considering that, like, you know, Metroid Prime 2 was very well received. Metroid Prime 3, you know, it had motion controls in it, so that did turn some people off, but okay, you know, I'm not going to it's just an opinion. I can have opinions about the opinion of the review, as in, this is too high, but, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So taking a look at the positive reviews, let's see if there's any more. Oh, we got, Nintendoros, of course, the Nintendo website with a 10 out of 10. Gorgeous, highly entertaining, and a thrill to unravel. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond on Switch 2 is the best single-player shooter in years, and a triumph for gaming's coolest heroine. Meaning a female character, not that arm juice. Metroid Prime 4 is without a doubt the return that fans of the saga have been waiting for almost a decade. I think it's been longer than a decade. Retro Studio, bro, that's on the Wii. What are we talking about here? Retro Studios has perfectly balanced the classic essence of Metroid Prime with innovations, accessibility to new players, depth and challenge, the game's unique atmosphere, the richness of the world, and its gameplay deeply integrated with exploration and combat mechanics make this installment something truly special. So we're seeing what people are liking about the game and, you know, the higher end, but we got to look at the lower end, because that's where I think things can get potentially more interesting. So let's scroll down here. So Gaming Bible goes with a 6 out of 10. As the biggest Metroid Prime game to date, yet it's fallen into the trap that many open world games succumb to, an overwhelming feeling of emptiness. The actual levels themselves are good, look great, but are dragged down by interfering NPCs and linear layouts that defeat the point of a Metroidvania entirely. So that's interesting. You know, the NPCs, that's something we've heard quite a bit about as far as, you know, the Scott DeWaz guy and there being other NPC characters kind of eliminating the isolation feel. I mean, the overwhelming emptiness, you know, it's weird because we just had people praising the open areas and the exploration, and now we're saying that there's a feeling of emptiness. So I guess it kind of depends on what you are looking for with your Metroid Prime experience. Games Radar. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is finally here after an 18-year wait. Hey, at least they got the timing right. At its best, it feels like no time has passed at all, as I'm awed by the melancholy and mysterious vibes of the exploration-focused FPS. But at many other moments, it's bogged down by odd new features that detract from what's almost one of Samus' best. Being so close to greatness can sometimes be the bitterest feeling of all. So they didn't like the new additions. And I think that's going to be, you know, a polarizing thing for the game. I like this one. Quotation, forthcoming. But as we see, you know, there's stuff kind of all over the place. We've got people that absolutely love it, people that are kind of like, eh. And I think this was to be expected. And my whole thing that I've been saying with Metroid Prime 4 is it has been 18 years, nearly 2 decades since the last mainline Metroid Prime game, Metroid Prime experience. And with that time, Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3. Okay, Prime 1 and Prime 2 were arguably the best-looking console first-person adventure, first-person shooter games that were available at the time. And that's what made the game so special. You know, it looked so great on a visual perspective, and people were just wowed by it. And, of course, the gameplay matching it definitely made for a very great experience. When you look at the Nintendo Wii with Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, there wasn't many games like that on the system at the time that had a more, you know, kind of older feeling to it. And then adding in the motion controls, which at the time everyone was still into, everyone loved, everyone couldn't get enough of it because it made gaming more interactive. It makes sense for that game to do well. After 18 years, though, to make yet another Metroid Prime game, you're not going to hit those same highs that you hit with the other games. That's not to say that the game is bad or anything like that, but it definitely looks like Metroid Prime 4. They didn't really reinvent the wheel. They didn't really do anything too crazy. You know, there's no multiplayer and stuff like that. And I know there's going to be people that say, oh, well, it doesn't need multiplayer. The other games didn't have it. That was 18 years ago. Games are allowed to evolve. Games are allowed to change. Hell, Metroid Prime Hunters DS had a robust multiplayer experience that I thoroughly enjoyed. I always felt like this should have been like the biggest Metroid Prime game instead of just yet another Metroid Prime game with all the bells and whistles that you could possibly do, considering the time constraints of this game and how long it took to come out. But I honestly feel like this was a situation where Nintendo had invested a lot of money in the game. It was originally being done by Bandai Namco. They scrapped that. They lost that money and then had to have Retro Studios do it. So now you're paying twice for the same game, and I feel like it got to a point where it was just like, we need to release this game. We can't invest any more money into it. I'm still really looking forward to the game, and I will probably like it more than some other people will, but I could already see that there's going to be some things where I'm kind of like, oh, well, I wish this would have been done differently. I wish this would have been better implemented, or I wish this would have been implemented in the first place, and I don't think that's a bad thing. So let me know in the comment section how you feeling about Metroid Prime 4. 81 on Metacritic, and an 81 isn't a bad score. We live in this society where like anything under an 8 is like dogfire bathwater, but it's just like, no, you know, people are just looking, they look for different things in different games. And really review scores, like who cares? It's just someone's opinion. It's just someone's opinion. You literally have people that are like, oh man, this game could have been great, but it's not. And then you have people that are like, this is the best thing since Metroid Prime. And it's like, you know, different strokes for different folks. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, guys, thank you for visiting me here on the second channel. I will have a Metroid Prime 4 video up whenever the game comes out. So be on the lookout for that. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.